Hi, my name's Adam Nurse and today I'm going to tell you about how I fish the hemp. One of the reasons why I like to fish hemp is it tends to sort out the better quality fish, and today I'm fishing a venue that is plagued with lots of very small fish, so by feeding hemp and fishing hemp on the hook, it sorts out the better quality fish. A lot of my fishing is done on the River Soar in Leicestershire, and I've been very fortunate to grow up with some of the best hemp anglers in the country. So let me tell you a little bit about how I approach fishing with hemp. Talk a little bit about the tackle I'm using today. Starting with the pole, I'm using a Colmic Aeron F66 16 metre pole. It's ultra stiff, ultra strong pole, which is really important to me when you're shipping in and out a lot of times during a 5-hour match, and also when you're fishing a variety of venues like I do, be it canals, rivers, commercials, etc. Talk to you a little bit about the pattern of float I'm using today. This is a 0.75 Carrera float. I've basically got a bulk of shot just below half depth, and then a strung out number 10s and 11 shot all the way down to the hook length, which is a size 18 Hayabusa hook, nickel plated, which I find is perfect with a wide gape for fishing hemp seed. Reason I'm using the Carrera pattern today is it's got a nice teardrop body, nice visible tip, which is quite sensitive but has a little bit of buoyancy in it. And one of the important things with hemp fishing is constantly lifting and dropping the bait through the water. What you're trying to do is to emulate the hemp as it falls through the water with obviously your piece of hemp which has got a hook on it. And if you have too sensitive float, as you drop the float back in, the float just carries under, and that gives you false bite. So quite important to have a sensitive but not too sensitive float tip. The shotting on this, as I've mentioned earlier, because of the depth of water today, I've got about 9 or 10 feet, but I'm actually catching about 2 feet off the bottom. But I've got a bulk of just below mid depth of number 10 shot, and then I've got number 10s and number 11s strung out all the way down to the hook. I always try and find the best quality hemp seed that I can, which is not always easy, but well worth the time looking around your tackle shops to find good quality hemp that's of a reasonable size, nothing too big, nothing too small, but what's important is that it's fresh and it's easy to cook. I like to soak mine overnight and then simmer it in a pan slowly until the white kernel starts to split from the hemp, and then I take it off the heat and just leave it to cool down. I find that's perfect for the following day. Two main ways to hook hemp. Probably the most popular and the one I prefer is simply to push the bend of the hook into the slit where the hemp is split. If it's cooked right, it's nice fresh quality hemp, then you'll find that the hook just kind of clicks into place, and that's enough to hold the piece of hemp on the bend of the hook. The other way, and what I've been using today quite a bit, is actually to get a float stem and pierce the hemp so you can just put the bend of the hook through it. It's particularly good when it's windy, if you've got to fish particularly long, because if you do miss a bite or the piece of hemp would ordinarily come off, it stays there and gives you another opportunity to catch another fish. There's no hard or fast rules with regards to feeding hemp, but one of the ways I like to feed it is just to cup maybe half or a third of a cup of hemp in at the start, and then just regularly loose feed over the top of it. And what I'm trying to do is to emulate the loose feed that's falling through the water with my hook bait, which is why I like to fish a strung out shotting style rig most of the time. So that's my approach to hemp fishing. Why don't you go out there and give it a go for yourself?